This is a Locker Room production.
So we are live here on the Locker Room app. So we're starting between the Hornets and the Pacers, and it was a bad game by the Charlotte Hornets. As you know, they lost six straight. As Nate Duncan has said, they lost six straight to end the season, and they couldn't get it done. And I thought that the Hornets would probably have a chance to beat the Pacers after LeVert was deemed out for the game, and obviously he's gonna miss an extra 2 weeks. But I was disappointed on the game overall. It wasn't just about not playing against the Hornets. And I just didn't like how the Hornets had the offense going because as you want to see, like for the players for the Hornets, Graham, the guy that was probably the starter before LaMelo was deemed a starter in the first half of the season, and in 20 minutes he shot 1 for 8 from the floor, and he only had 4 points, and that cannot happen in a must-win game for the Hornets. And also, Cody Zeller was probably the second bright spot on the team as he hasn't been playing well this season, as he shot 7 for 7 from the floor with 17 points in 28 minutes. And I feel that they should have started him from the get-go because Bismack Biyombo, he only played 3 minutes. He got subbed out after 3 minutes and was a -7 in the 3 minutes. And that cannot happen in this league and in this game where the Hornets had to win. They had to win. And it's not just these guys. LaMelo Ball wasn't that great. He had 14 points, 1 rebound, and 4 assists, and shot 4 for 14. And I know ESPN and all those sports channels, all they show is LaMelo Ball behind the back dime. But they're not debating saying, okay, LaMelo Ball, you failed. You did not play well. And that's why he only played 27 minutes. And yes, it was a blowout already. But still, I expected more from LaMelo Ball because LaMelo Ball has been rebounding the ball a lot this season, even before his injury and kind of after. But he had 1 rebound the whole game and only had 4 assists. And while Terry Rozier, who played 35 minutes, he shot 7 for 20, did not make a single three-pointer, even though he attempted 9. And yes, he had 8 boards and 6 assists, but he only had 16 points. And the Hornets have been playing well, especially Rozier have been playing the ball, shooting the ball well from 3 and been passing the ball. And he's been underappreciated rebounder. And he had 8 rebounds. But it just, overall, the Hornets did not shoot the ball well. And I'm not forgetting Miles Bridges, who was the number one bright spot last night, even though they lost by big. They lost by 27 points. At one point, they were down 39. And it was over from the get-go, as the Pacers scored 40 in the first, scored 29 in the second, scored 39 and 36, respectively. So it was a horrible matchup. But I expected more from the Hornets, and they did not play well. And yes, they did not have Gordon Hayward, but with or without Gordon Hayward, they have beaten big teams and they have been playing well. And PJ Washington only had 8 points and 7 rebounds. And this season he's been balling out really well. And for the Pacers, it was a great game for the Pacers. And yes, they're missing TJ Warren, who's out for the season. They're missing Miles Turner. We don't know when he'll be back. They missed Karis LeVert, who right before tip off was saying that he's gonna miss this game and he's gonna be out a minimum of 10 to 14 days, and that's 2 weeks time to recover. But that's a lot of time because for sure he's gonna miss the game against the Washington Wizards and is probably going to miss the first round against the Sixers. So it's like we hope he can come back as soon as he can, but it's gonna be tough for the Pacers. But Sabonis is still doing Sabonis things, getting 14 points, 21 rebounds, and 9 assists in only 33 minutes. Also, Brissett, who played also 33 minutes, he had 23 points and 5 rebounds, and he's been balling ever since he got released by the Raptors. He signed 2 10-day contracts with the Pacers, and they signed him for like a contract that's guaranteed for the rest of the season. And he shot 10 for 14. But are you trying to tell me that the Hornets and PJ Washington, Miles Bridges, they couldn't defend OJ Brissett? No, that cannot happen. And the Hornets blew this one out because they kind of have similar records, but we don't know. But Doug McDermott, he was lit from 3 as he scored 11 in the first. He ended up with 21 points, 7 for 9 from the floor, 4 for 6 from downtown. Also, Brogdon came back after missing the last 10 games. He had 16 points and 8 dimes, shooting 6 for 10 from the floor. So Brogdon as well, he came back with a bang, and he only played 21 minutes from injury, and the game was already out of hand already. So that's out. And the Indiana Pacers starters were like Sabonis was plus 27, Brissett plus 27, Holiday, Justin Holiday plus 26, McDermott plus 20, Brogdon plus 18. Well, for the Hornets, PJ Washington was at minus 26, Bridges minus 25, Bismack minus 7, LaMelo Ball was the game high minus 35, and Rozier was a minus 32. And we thought it was going to be the scary Terry, but it wasn't. He was a minus 32 on the night. Did not make a single 3-pointer. And it was just disappointing for the Hornets because I wanted the Hornets to make the playoffs and see how LaMelo Ball can do, how Terry Rozier can make it happen. So, but I still feel Cody Zeller should have started over Bismack Biyombo because Bismack Biyombo had played 3 minutes and did nothing on the floor. Welcome, Bren Wolves.
What's up?
So I'm recapping the Hornets and Pacers. Do you want to say something about it?
No, you can start recapping.
Alright. So the Pacers, they played well, and we were happy that Malcolm Brogdon came back from injury. And yes, he was on a minute restriction, but the game was out of hand. They take him out. They were up by 39 points. And I know the Pacers are missing Karis LeVert, they're missing Miles Turner, TJ Warren, but they still played well, and you got to give it to Sabonis, who had like 1 assist shy from a triple-double, but it was really disappointing by the Hornets. And LaMelo Ball did not have a great game himself, and all ESPN was showing was his dimes, but they weren't talking about how he was at minus 35 on the night, only scored 14 points, grabbed 1 rebound, had only 4 dimes. So I was a Hornets performance, because now make the playoffs as they're eliminated because they were number 10 spot in the East. But let's move on to the second game, which was a great game to watch up until the second half, as the Wizards, they were into it in the first half. Westbrook in the first half had 5 rebounds, but he did well himself, 6 for 18 from the floor. And yes, he grabbed 14 boards and 5 dimes, but that didn't matter as they couldn't guard Kemba Walker, who had season high 29 points. They couldn't obviously not foul Jason Tatum as he was 17 for 17 from. And also, I know Bradley Beal's having a hamstring injury, but you can't go into a must-win shooting 10 for 25 and not doing much on the floor. And even on the defensive end, he did not do a great job, because if he did, Kemba Walker wouldn't have 29 points. Kemba wouldn't have, Jason Tatum wouldn't have a 50 piece. So I think Russell Westbrook and Beal, they need to play a full 48 minutes, because in this game they only played the first half. The second half was not great because they only scored 46 and especially 20 in the fourth. The most important quarter, they scored 20 as they lost by 18. And the bright spots wasn't on the starting lineup for the Wizards. It was off the bench, as Ish Smith, the veteran, had 17 points and 8 rebounds. Also, Gafford, who they acquired from the Chicago Bulls at the trade deadline, he had 12 points and 5 rebounds. And Gafford and Smith combined shot 12 for 15 from the floor. And they played much better than the starters did. And yeah, everyone will say, oh, Westbrook rebounds or 5 assists, but that doesn't do nothing. That doesn't mean nothing if you lose an important game by 18. And for the Celtics, it was I know that people they shot 32 free throws compared to the Wizards 20, but I don't think it wasn't just the free throws, because the Wizards were playing lazy on defense. They were hacking people left and right, and that's all of them. But played much better, especially Kemba Walker. Ever since he signed with the Celtics last season, he did not have huge games. And yes, people will say, yeah, he played great in last year's semifinals against Toronto. But other than that, he did not play well, especially against Miami Heat. And this season, yeah, he started the season on the injured list, but ever since he came back, he hasn't been doing much. So you needed Kemba Walker. You needed Tatum, because, as you know, the Celtics lost Jaylen Brown for the rest of the season with a wrist injury. I know he shouldn't have left the whole season because it's only a wrist injury. But shoot, he's been an all-star this season. He has improved all of his stats from points, rebounds, assists, free throw percentage, 3-point percentage, everything. So the wrist is the main reason why. It's how you play ball. So if you don't have your wrist in 100%, you won't be doing much. And that's why LaMelo Ball hasn't been rebounding the ball well and hasn't been shooting the ball well. And we need Tristan Thompson to do something, because he hasn't been doing anything the last 25 games or so. So you needed Thompson off the bench, which he should start. I don't know why he's playing off the bench, because Robert Williams III, yes, he's been playing well the last 8 games, but he only had 4 points in 14 minutes, and yes, he got injured, but he was already injured before this game. So Tristan Thompson, 12 points and 12 rebounds, and he was a plus 15 on the floor. And I think the Celtics need to use more of their bench, because other than Tatum, Kemba, Smart, and Fournier,